So, when last we met, we had put where's my oh, we had put the fishing hut together, but we forgot to do a couple things. We forgot to put the name on it and things like that. So we're going to do that real quick. Then we're going to start talking about what our next steps are. So let me make sure the screen is up. Let's take logo down, game maker up. Okay. Let's see about making this a little bit bigger. Make it that big. That way we can really see. Move this over to the side so that I can see both. So I have a tendency to miss things. Hmm. Yeah, I've had several things today throw me off, so I will endeavor to do better. Oops. That's not good. Ah, there. I lost it for a moment. All right, so let's put in our asset, which should be empty. Font. Yes. Zoom into our fisherman's thing, and then we're going to go over here. We're going to grab the objects. This. I'm going to call this Fisherman Hut, or Fishing Hut. Fishing Hut, that's the one. We're going to make it yellow so it matches everybody else. Not mean that you have to match everybody else all the time, but you get the idea. Okay, so there is our fishing hut. Then we're going to grab that off of here, which is this one. We're going to go internal. This is the fishing hut. Oh, it's not going to let us do that, is it? No, because we don't have this asset. Now it should be able. Now we should be able to. Nope. No, we didn't lose it. Not on the list. Do it there. Yes, we can do it there. Okay. That's just so that we can see it. Now, you may have noticed that I moved the name into the building. It's because we can't see outside the building when we're in the game. So this will show up in Monday's build, of course. Let me get last night's build. I'm pretty sure I saved it, hopefully. Go over here and see if it's working before I bring it up on screen. I think this is the correct one. No, it is not. Okay. I could have swore I saved it, but let me make sure this is linked to the right one. Drive, show, background, game dev, builds. We want this one, should be the correct one. Let's see if it cancel. That is not what we wanted it to do. We want to go to 30. Open this one. This one should be correct. Let me open it up in our window here. If it will let me. Okay, there it is. I had to open that first. Okay, so let's go over there and see if our new fishing lodge is in there. It is. There. Obviously, the name's not on it. The name will be on it tomorrow because we just put it in the thing and it won't let me do a build while I'm running OBS. So good. Another thing I did that we did yesterday was we fixed this so that you can go over here now. Okay, so technically all of our buildings are done. You know, we will make a fountain eventually for here. Right now we just have a tree hanging out. But we will get there. It is a good thing. Okay. The village. So as he builds, he'll decide if it's overhead. Okay, we don't know yet. Right now, we're not. We're just kind of throwing some ideas on the board and seeing what works. Let me move this over here. He is just chill. Thank you. We haven't decided on the exact kind of game right now. We're just lightly calling it an RPG, and we'll see how that goes. Because we don't know if it's going to be an RPG or something else. Right now, it's just a mock-up. So we're going to mock it up, and that is what we are doing. Let me close that. Open this back up. So people have been asking, now that we have all our, or someone asked me yesterday, now that we have all of our buildings kind of built and all that stuff, what do we do next? Well, let me see if I have it up. I do not. So let us get our design page. Okay. Now there's several things we could do, but I think that they would be, I don't think they're going to help us at this time. I mean, we could go in and build out the one map. I'm trying to find it here. This one, which is our one dungeon that we put together. But I don't know if we're going to do that yet. We did prove that you could bring an image in and then build a tile set over it. So this was the original image that we had for our first dungeon, and then we brought it in and built basically everything over it, which was kind of cool. I was glad that that could happen, because that means also that we can do things like on in graph paper, we could draw out all of our levels, scan them in, and then put them in here and then just draw over them. And with the automatic, the automatic paint system, I have to figure out, because someone said that you can actually take your tile set and turn it into an automatic painting system. So that is something we might want to think about, because if we have a drawing and we have an automatic dungeon map painting system, we can paint all this in. D2, D20 Anchor. Thank you very much for the follow. So that was cool to prove, because I was really interested in that, because that makes our idea of sorry that makes our idea of map making a whole lot easier. It also makes our dungeon making a whole lot easier. You know, and right now, like I said, we just threw this one together the other day just to see if it would work, and it did, which just like, I'm like, awesome. You know, we will take it. Obviously, we don't have the intersections for outside here, but you guys get the general idea of what it should be. What we could do is say that the dungeon is completely surrounded by water. Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that. Our dungeon is underwater. Grab there. Our dungeon is surrounded by water. Ooh, scary. There. Now we can use our transitions, but you get the general idea. Is the goal was to see if that particular kind of thing would work, and it looks like it worked fine. I'm actually quite happy with the fact that it worked out as good as it did. You know, so it's good. But I also am weird and have to do cleanup all the time, because it's just weird for me to not go in and clean it up. Sorry. Don't mean to waste your guys' time. But yeah, cool. Cool beans. And we will, what I want to do is, and this point was brought up by somebody else the other day, is we'll start figuring out what happens in these buildings. You know, so we know who's in them. We have that information, but we don't know what good or bad they have for us. As my voice cracks and does weird stuff. So yeah, so we can go back and clean that up later. But this is our base for a dungeon, and it's actually kind of cool that the theory worked. Very happy about that. Sorry, I see spikes. I see spiked people. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so this will be a stairway in. Yeah. But the story is really necessary in order to move forward on this. So yeah. Okay. Let me get away from this because I'll keep futzing with it. Good morning, Our Father. I will be watching all your YouTube videos regularly. Okay, well I hope they help. I hope they helps. Let's fix this real quick. Okay, so woot woot. Okay, let's do a quick save, and then we'll go back and look at where we are going to be. So, if we now take our land masses, let's go to the village. Okay, here's our village. And we're going to go back to our original design stuff, which was what I was going to open up anyway, and it is open here. So let me zoom in. That kind of spaced out. See, now is where it starts to become work for a little bit. But it is important to do it. Sorry, wrong one. Turn that off. Oh, I'm in the wrong section. Okay, so we have these two basic parts of the world worked out. Okay, we have our forest, we have our city, where a good half of the game is going to take place. So let's think about what we're going to do. Is what are the things that we know? I'm going to make a list down here, and we're going to start talking about it here. So let me get that in going. Okay. We'll start over here. I want that bigger. Thank you. Oh, it's going to do that. Okay, so let's do this then. That one. This one. I'm going to make this big old writing section. Okay. Then we can put it here. Yeah. We'll just call it things needed for right now. And we'll go in and talk about it. So what is needed from the beginning? So he has shirt, pants, shoes. So base clothes. He has base clothes. He has, God, what would he, a carrier bag? And no, I cannot spell, so just deal with it. A carry-on bag, no. It just became a Toto bag. He has a Toto bag. That's because he's always singing Roxanne. That's why. It's always work. Yes, it is. Technically, it is always work. But the trick is to find ways to enjoy it. You know, clothes, good shoes. He's 10, so I don't think he'd have a walking stick. But he would have no, because he's off running an errand for grandpa to pick some stuff up and come back. So let's make this smaller. So he has the herbs that he went to get. Which is what the errand was for in the first place. Oh, sorry. Okay, so those are base things. What other things would he be carrying? Things for this will probably won't mean anything, but we need a personal item, so I'm just going to put he has a lucky rock. And then okay, and basically that would be the basic stuff he has on him. And then the Toto bag can be like, we'll say it's a small bag, so we'll make it 6 slots, which obviously he'll be able to upgrade later. Upgradable. Upgradable. That's not right either. Upgradable. Okay. Go base leather. And then, yeah. Lucky Rock, we'll call it Fred. His Lucky Rock Fred. And Fred talks to him and tells him things. Toto Rock. Yes, it's Toto Rock. You get your Toto Rock, you turn the radio on, and you play Roxanne. Or Rosanna. You play Rosanna. By Toto. He's bringing his pet rock on his adventure. Yes, absolutely. Why wouldn't he? He could also use his pet rock for defense in some cases. If you need something hard for it, hit someone with someone with something heavy. Okay, now let's do this. Let's grab. Let's come on. I'm gonna grab Granddad's house. I'm gonna put that down here. Now, what items are what usable? Go. Okay, this is just base of things. Need name this correctly. This is what he has. Oh, Zombieland. Okay, we'll wait for a minute. So that is what he has. Bring this over here so it's a little more comfortable in the eyes. Yes, you do not have to turn on the red light. Then it won't gather moss, correct? Dude, pets are awesome. But not shame them for being a rock. I got news for you. In the 70s, you could buy pet rocks. All came out of a guy that had a big, literally pile of rocks in his front yard and wanted to get rid of them. So he invented the pet rock. You can look it up. It's a real thing. Mm-hmm. do this while we're. We will do that. Okay, let's go back up here. Good. We're all set up. All right. Yes, they do. 23 seconds. Okay. Susie Dent from 8 out of 10 Kansas Countdown also uses the correct pet rocks. Used to collect pet rocks. I like Susie Dent. She's funny. She's very smart lady. Okay, ads are finished. So what we're talking about is he has this Luck Rock Fred, and we were also talking during the ad break that pet rocks are completely legitimate. In fact, you can actually used to be able to buy pet rocks. This is a pet rock here. You can still buy them apparently. They are $29, and they come in a nice little nest, and they come with instructions on how to take care of it. You know, so yeah. So there you go. One pet rock. But back to what we were doing. Okay, so the next thing we have to talk about is what is in Grandpa's house. So if we remember, we had 2 beds. We had a table, 2 chairs, and 2 chairs. So that's good. Consistent here. And and then a stove top, for lack of a better way to put it. And a stove top. Oops. That's right. I touched something. Therefore, it's going to go all over the place. That's what happens when you reach for the wheel or reach for your mouse and you hit the wheel first. Okay. So that's everything that we had in Grandpa's house. Let's switch back to it here real quick. So we can go to Grandpa's house. Nope, not that one, not that one. Where'd it go? I know we had it. Let's just go to rooms. Rooms. The forest. BD's house. Okay, here's Granddad's house. Now, one of the things we haven't talked about, and because I didn't even think about it, is what does Grandpa do? I mean, we know that he goes to the the clinic. We know that he goes to the training center to train people. You know, but what kind of things would he have to do that? So let's talk about that. So going back to, let me see if I can do it. Can I split this to where it can be both? Let's see if, no, moving that's not going to help. You have to come over here. Come on. Give me the right window. Thank you. We move this over here. And then if I move this one this way, there you go. So we're in Granddad's house. So things that we need for Granddad's house, we'll assume we're just going to call it a medical bag. So when he goes to the clinic, when his, let's see, his workout clothes. Let's see, inside where is we'll say bedding, We need pillows, blankets, all that kind of stuff, because those may be items that we can use later to make something like a costume or something like that. You know, let's see. We have food stuff, and we'll be more specific on that later. But it's because you have a kitchen, you'll have utensils. I'm gonna spell that all wrong. Is that right? Nope. Pencil. Whatever. It's part of good. But they're very hard to catch. Thank you, Sparta, for helping me spell a word. Okay, let's see. Cleaning products, cleaning stuff. Cleaning stuff, and then tools, just basic tools. When I say tools, it's like axes, things like that, because you have to assume that they have to. One of the things we talked about is cutting trees down and being able to have logs for the fire and stuff like that. So we need axes and shovels and things like that. Let's see. Hammers, etc. Those kind of things. Okay, let's see. Where are we at? So that is for Granddad's house. Those are the basics that we need for Granddad's house. So there's not a lot in there, but we'll talk about like rugs and things like that. That's all. We'll talk about all that kind of stuff later. What we're looking for is objects that can be used to do other things, or objects that can be used to level up our kid. You know, so that's kind of where we're looking at it for. Is how are those? How do they look? Excuse me. Every now and then I forget I'm sick, and then my body goes, "You're sick." Okay, so now we'll take the next step out, which will be to our forest. Here's our forest. Let's put it up here to where we can see most of it. Now, these are going to be much longer lists and bigger lists. So, and we haven't completely decided that we'll make these lists, but it doesn't mean that we'll have to actually use them all. It just means that we're going to have a list of things, and then we can go through and say, okay, if he had this, he could do this, or he could do that, you know, that kind of thing. So if we go now and make a forest list, I'll grab that. There is a forest bed, but there are not tools. We'll stop that. Okay. So things that we can do in the forest, or things that are in the forest. So we have trees. That, let me see if that's visible. Is that visible? It's not. Okay, let's go over here. So we have trees. We have plants. If they have med uses, we have a well. because we have a well, we need a bucket, and rope, and a pulley system. Yeah, you want to make them feel like people actually. To Sparta's point, Sparta's saying, when you start actually designing the rooms and areas, you don't want them to feel empty or to look odd. Sorry, I said old. So you end up making a lot more things, little things, to add to as details. Yes, but that's a long way down the pipeline. Yes, you do not worry about extreme details at this time. We're just saying, okay, what are the base objects that are in these areas that would just normally be there? Not superficial stuff or anything like that. Like we have forest, we have trees for logs, we have plants for medical use. We have uh, depending on what world we move to or what world we decide on. The kid would probably have an inner tube. So he'd probably have that because he goes down and plays in the river. Maybe along with his pet rock, he has a slingshot. Maybe that could be something that he has. I cannot see. Sorry, it's going to make that pretty big on your screen, but I can't see where the cursor is. This back over here. Sorry, guys. I keep moving things around, sometimes on purpose, sometimes on accident. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the polishing stages. Yeah. Oh, awesome. What are we deving? We're deving a small RPG type thing for now. It doesn't mean it will end up as an RPG, but we're just doing some base game design stuff from the simplest point. So the goal is, if you have no money and you need to put something together, can you? So what I'm showing is that with the last 5 weeks, we just spend about an hour and a half a day working on this, and we've come quite a ways. I think that I'm pretty happy with how far we've come. For literally, God, what is this? 25 times 2 is 50, so 50 hours, somewhere in there, maybe less. So for less than a day and a half, we were able to we were able to get a game up, a character up and running in our game world, and now we're just kind of clearing out the game world. Going from room to room and saying what goes in it, what is out there. So, I can't forget this. We get a fish because we have fish in the lake. We'll throw some snakes in there. So we talked about snakes before, rabbits. And more than likely, I'll transfer this to a spreadsheet later and clean it up to where it's items broken down. Have you thought of games? Yes, we already have that. We have our protagonist and stuff already. Let me zoom out here. So we have our 3 main characters. We have our playable character. Oh, sorry. Let me take the game design part of the game maker down. We have our 3 main characters. We have the character that you play, which is the boy here. Let's see if it's gonna, yeah, boy here. We have his grandfather, who is the person who lives with him in grandfather's house, of course. And then we have grandfather's twin brother, who is the bad guy. And he owns and runs the mines and things like that. And he is technically the bad guy. So, but he is the twin to his grandfather. So that I thought that would be a nice little, well, maybe cheesy, but I think it'll be a good little way to play with some things later on in the game. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So, but those, to answer your question, yes, we do have a protagonist. We do have all that. We have our three most important characters. So, the things that we talked about before were animals, traps. Yeah, we have to put traps in, river fish. We did some of this stuff before. Lake, boats, fishermen. So I will add all that to this list later. But we have our animals, basically all the animals that are in the forest. Big trees for logs. I did a lot of this. I forgot I did all this stuff. Big fish, small fish, water snakes, alligators. We need regular snakes are over here. Yeah, so that is good. Now, if we go to, I don't want to do the fisherman one yet, but we had talked about the bakeries and the meat shops and all that stuff. But once again, I'm gonna have to sit down and start like mapping a few things out, because I've done up until this point, I've done it completely on the fly, and I actually put a lot more thought into it going forward, because it gets more complicated. But to our base, we have this much done and working in the game, which is, sorry, I need to make sure it fits on the screen you guys are looking at. So we have about this much in the game now in playable, and we need to start thinking about what our character is going to do a little bit, because we have them, and we can start putting those things in. And what we'll do is I'll make two icons. One will be a green icon, one will be a or sprite, green sprite, and one will be a red sprite. And what we'll do with those is, in the game, we'll say, okay, these are things that are positive for him, and these are things that are negative for him. And then we can work that out from there, just so we have something in the game to represent some of the things that we're talking about. I feel like I'm babbling. I'm so sorry. It's getting there. What's funny is I had not planned to do this, so I didn't do any prep for it. And I need to do some prep. So hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit done this weekend, so that we can come back and really jump into it hard as to where we're going next. Yeah, Miro. If you don't know what Miro is, it's just it's basically a thought board, because you can start throwing stuff up. If you go to our first video on YouTube, you'll see that we just loaded up and started throwing things in there, because originally it was just me answering a question that someone asked. But yeah. Yay. Miro, yes. Here, let me see if I can pull this. Nope, that's the wrong one. I really wish that OBS would give you better ways to grab things on OBS. So if we do that, and then we take this, see, it's called Miro. And this is just our game test, because originally that's what it was. It was just a quick test thing. But it's really good for mocking, just like, I'm going to throw all my ideas up and see how it goes. And that's what we've done. So it worked out pretty well. Oh, cool. You should use it. I grabbed my desktop. Hey, I got my Miro bill yesterday. Bill? Ads will be okay. Yeah, I don't remember paying for Miro, but okay. Nothing personal. Let's go back down here where we were. Put that back. Just me trying to save room on the screen, really, and more than anything else. Okay. All right. So basically, what we need to do is we need to go into pretty much every building, every all the outsides, all that stuff, and start making these lists. And what I like to do is I like to make all the first list is for me is for everything I know the character is going to need to do. Whether it's for a quest, whether it's for just existing or anything like that. So we know that he's going to have to fish to get food. We know that he's going to have to catch animals. We know he's going to have to chop wood. So he has logs. So that's what I do first is what are the most important things. Now, that doesn't mean that that's going to be the end all be all list. That just means here's our starting point. So what we'll do is we'll start putting those together and start doing that. And it's I'm not sure how to make these lists and not make it seem boring to you guys, because it literally is. You're sitting there just, okay, I'm in this area. I need 4 goats. Okay, we have 4 goats, you know. Ads will be coming soon. Okay. Ads are coming, guys. So it has free tiers. It has started. Okay. Honestly, it's not boring. Well, I want to feel, I want, okay. Yeah, we're good. I think it's just the medication. I received a note. They're replacing my medication today, so hopefully the new one won't leave me so off center, shall we say? That is a good thing to say. Off center, good word. Let's go back to here. Okay, I need to check something over here. Boop doop boop 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 boop. Okay. Oh, let's go back to this. Ah, we are so lucky. It has made itself smaller. I did not want it to make itself smaller. Ah, that is better and bigger. Bigger is better. Nope. I'm going to move these in. Yeah, you got to be able to see those. Yeah, the 1-to-1 screen doesn't always work, but oh well, we're good. All right. So yeah, so the biggest steps next are just starting to make those lists, and we will. Okay. Was it the medication with unwanted mood effects? Those kind of suck. Yeah, it's kind of, yes, but I'm fixing that. But no, this is my body reacts weird to different medications, which is not normal and confuses my doctors sometimes. So we have to do tests a lot. The medication right now, it's just a simple antibiotic, but it's tearing my system up and making me forgetful. And it says on the bottle or in the description of it, because I looked up side effects, it says it will, and it sure does. But it also makes me like break out in hives. So that's why they're changing it, is because you can't do that. Yeah. All these newfangled antibiotics that they didn't have when I was growing up. We had penicillin, and we had water, and I was allergic to penicillin, and the water tastes terrible. No, I'm kidding. About the water tasting terrible, it was fine. It can be sometimes, yes, but As long as it saves you, it doesn't much matter. But save each other and then we go on. Let's make this one a little bit smaller so we still have it there. Okay. So, oh wow, it's 10 after 3 already. Yeah, this is why we need to add that extra time. I tried to cut it out. I tried to cut some of the time out by cutting down the gameplay parts, but we'll have to work into that. When we tricked you into starting game dev, we signed up for your process work. Going through the mapping everything you'll need to interactive objects, just part of that process. And we said it before, you're not as boring as you think. I don't know, I can think pretty boring. I'm really good at thinking boring. Back in my day, we had water and moldy bread. I used to tell the boys, I go, back in my day, all we had to play with was dirt. And every now and then, Dad would give us water. We would make mud, and we were happy to have mud. Yeah. I also got hives from an antibiotic as a kid. Now I always use the same one when I need it and doesn't mess up. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the problem here. It's the antibiotic I'm on was helping the problem, and then it's once the problem started diminishing, then the antibiotic became the problem. So they're fixing it. I will after our show today. I have to run over and pick up the meds because they sent me a note saying that it's at the pharmacy. I think it gives people a realistic expectation of what. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping we're doing that. In regards to giving you a real expectations, game making, yes, it's very, we'll call it glamorous, but by the same token, it's a lot of hard work. There's just no way around it. And people always think, oh, well, you just go in and it just instantly, everything's good. And people will hand you a design doc, and that design doc, you'll just go and build it, but then they'll do what they don't understand is that design doc will change every 3 hours sometimes. And all the work that you did up until that point sometimes is useless and gets thrown away. And it gets extremely frustrating, or even the good parts where people go, oh, I have this idea, and they jump in and start the idea. That's fantastic. But you also have to think about what else it's going to affect, because there's a lot of people down the pipeline that are going to be thrown from the decisions you make. Yeah, Slots and Corwin says he is a programmer, and there's lots and lots of details that people just don't know about. You just don't see. That's also why I wanted to, when we started actually building this thing, I said, okay, well, let me get a game engine that I don't know, and let's start with that. So there's where we are. What kind of game are we making? We don't know yet, right? Let's just call it an RPG for now, and then we can move on, because we haven't decided. This is just mocking up. This is just us going, okay, is what we want to do something that can be done or should be done? So we do have, okay, so we go there. So Granddad Studio, which if we remember, let me pull the actual studio up because we have it built. Yep. Okay. Okay, studio. Forest, that's the fishing hut. That's Granddad's house. Town hall. I think the studio's way over here on this side. Clinic and Granddad Studio. Okay. Get that on the screen. We'll come back to our list now, because it is technically in the forest, so it's something that we should look at here. Juggling all of these windows is a lot of fun, let me tell you. Okay, so we're going to bring this down here. Okay, things that are in Grandad Studio. We have mats, sorry. Yeah, not the people, but the actual foamy goodness. We have posters. I'm gonna call them posters for now because it just seems the right thing, which are the white things on the walls there. We can call those actually we'll call those like posters of the ancestors. Yeah, it never knows what I'm trying to say, but that's okay. I think I wrote it up here actually. Oh, we still have to build this. See, we still need to build that, but I was there for that. No, there are no Matt Damons in Grandpa Shack. But what we could do, and it'd be kind of funny, is do a have you seen poster of Matt Damon somewhere in the game. That would be very funny. Yeah. Or do not spend money saving this person. He just gets himself in trouble over and over and over again. For those of you that weren't with us, I think it was yesterday, is there's a theory that missing is a good one. We'll do that. Do a missing Matt Damon. If you calculate all the money that would have been spent saving Matt Damon in every movie he's been in, he would be the most money ever spent to save someone would be spent on Matt Damon. So they had to save him because he got left on Mars. They had to save him in Private Ryan. You know, you could make a list of all the movies where he had to be saved. I don't think he needed to be saved in Euro Trip because he just came in and sang the song. Yeah. I do like the song though. Scotty doesn't know. And those of you who do know, remember, Scotty doesn't know. Well, the question is why have we had to save him? Is it because of his own stupidity? Or because he's worth saving? We're asking two different questions here. Oh, this over here. So he has mats, he has posters, ancestors. I spelled ancestors wrong, of course. Let's see. He has water. The reason I say water is because I think that more than likely one of the chores the boy will have is to make sure that there's water in the place. Yeah, someone suggested a leash for Matt Damon yesterday. I kind of agree. Okay. Let's see. So studio. This is going to be a pretty barren place because we don't know what he actually teaches here yet. Right now, we're just kind of going, okay. Well, he teaches people to fight. Well, maybe he also teaches medicine. So let's go herbs because there's a fucking H in it. Ironically, Saving Private Ryan. Contagion. Interstellar, The Martian. Yeah, that's a lot. Just that alone. That's a lot to spend on saving Matt Damon. What do you mean, ancestors? Number one, I mean, I can't spell. But what we had talked about before, and when we first started doing this, one of the things that he'll be doing is he will be going to his ancestors or his family crypt. And in the family crypt are nine of his ancestors are buried there. And they somebody came in and broke up all of their statues of each one of them that was put above their grave. So our main character will be going and collecting the pieces that are missing and then putting these statues back together. And as he puts each statue back together, he will get a power from them. He will level up, number one. He will get a power from them, which we have a list of what those are over here because we put those together when we first started doing this. So it's like, okay, advice, skills. So like if he builds great granddad's thing, he'll get a the lion's roar is the name of what it is. He will take away from it, and then he can get basically. So with great granddad, it's about importance, courage. This is advice that he gives. Then he gives you a skill. When you put everything back together, he gives you wisdom. And then we did some just mock-up dialogue, which is kind of cheesy dialogue, but that's okay. It's just mock-up, so it's not going to be final. So that's what I mean by ancestors. So if Granddad's got his thing all together here, and he's teaching in there, I think it'd be completely appropriate for him to have posters or images of the ancestors. So it's like a family thing going through. So you're learning the family's way of doing things. Is that right? Does that make sense? Sorry. When you interact with it, it says Matt's Rescue Bill. We have no budget for saving Matt Damon. Oh, that's cool. Oh, thank you. Thank you, True North. It was an idea we came up with, I think is viable, if nothing else. Hopefully that will be able to stay in the game. But we also talked about is each ancestor is put back together, our character levels up. So you're not doing this thing where you're leveling up to like 100. The whole point of the game is let's just level up to the 9 ancestors. So if you start out as one from doing just stuff inside the forest of like chopping wood, doing those kind of things, then your character will only ever reach level 10 in the game, but he will also grow. So every time he is leveled up, he actually becomes a little bit older. And I thought that would be kind of cool. So, and a lot more powerful, of course, because eventually he's going to have to take on his grandfather's twin. He's going to have to beat all the guys in the mine to bring it back to balance, which is, we talked about balance on this. So we will see. We'll see where we go from there. But yeah, so we are in Grandpa's studio. Let's see. One of the things I want to do is I'm going to put a passage, and here's what I mean. Seller. Because I want to put a cellar in all the buildings that Grandpa's connected to. I think we'll put a cellar in. Isn't it great not to hear the Discord thing going off over and over and over again? I think it's awesome. Oh, there's actually a number? $900 billion for all the rescue opportunities for Matt Damon. So working off the I need no names idea, we can put an Easter egg as a bill. Matt's bill for all the rescues, $900 billion. Due to failure of payment on your loan, we cannot spend resources for further rescue operations. Please continue your monthly payment installments. It's very cute. I I knew it was a lot. It had to be because he's getting saved everywhere. That's just crazy. $900 billion saving Matt Damon. Ah, give me 1%. I'll be happy. I'll feel saved. 1%. That's all I ask. Okay, back to here. Like I said, I'm hoping that Monday my brain fog will clear out, and we'll get a little bit heavier into this because I know that we're already running late. So, but that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start going through, and then to break it up so that we're not just sitting here talking about everything that's in the game. We'll start talking about quests, not quests, but things that he can go out to do to earn from 0 to 1. Because I think that it's important that he be at least level 1 before he can get into the family crypt. We can make up an excuse for it, but I think that will be a good way to go with that. And we'll start pulling we have to start pulling a lot of these ideas that we have on the peripheral into this list, because we have a lot of stuff out there, because we also need to go through, and though we have the basics for who all the people in town are, we don't have personalities and stuff like that worked out. So we have to think about that. I'm not worried about the mines yet. The mines are something that I think they're going to be level 4 and above, or 3 and above maybe. But we'll see how that works out. And we have to build this room here still too. So, I need to get back to writing more stuff. Oh, have fun, Sparta. Right, well. But we also have to build where the temple is, because it's going to be above the city on a hill. But I think that all the graves will be there, because we'll have to think about all the graves for everybody that's ever lived in the town. And then we'll think about how I'm on the wrong screen. Sorry, guys. So yeah, so we'll start thinking about this stuff here, because we have a lot. Like I said, we've got a lot of stuff written down. I need to go through and sort through it so that we have a concise list of everything that we've talked about before, because we kind of jumped ahead to kind of start making things. And we started making this, which is just like, okay, what can he do? Because he needs to start looking for Grandpa. Is basically what his main quest is. But we can throw a bunch of little quests in there. But yeah. But yeah, if you go back to the original stuff, we came up with some good ideas. We just haven't consolidated them into an actual design doc. But we will get there. We shall get there. Yay. But that's kind of where we're at for today. I'm sorry today's kind of a quick and done day, but that's kind of where we are. Let's take another look at where we're at as far as the game itself. So from the game itself, I mean, I think that we need to start talking about what world it's in. Yeah. Because our art is going to be completely based on what world it's in. Oh, that's interesting. Our game. Oh, there it is. Okay. So like I said, we have the rooms and stuff set up. We have the basic connections for all of them set up. We can walk around and go outside. Go up here. Ah, we're swimming. Go into the fisherman's hut. So yeah, so we have a base. Now it's just like, okay, what happens? What is there to do in this town? Do we go to the bakery and get Granddad some cookies? I don't know. That's what we're talking about next. General store. Yeah, but the world that it's in, to my point, Sparta, is the world that it's in is going to make a difference as to what can and cannot be done. So like if we made this a Western world where there's cowboys, then we'd have to have horses. We'd have to have those things. The stable would become even more important, And I don't know if anybody would buy a horse game, a cowboy game. I know Red Dead Redemption, but this is probably not going to be a 3D game, so. And probably not a persistent online game. Okay. Yes, it is Game Maker Studio 2. That is exactly what we're using. Yeah, and I've only had, for those of you who knew, I've only had one tutorial, one set of 6 videos as a tutorial for using Game Maker. So, and that was a free thing. So that was the point of why we started doing this stuff, is because how can you just start getting it done? As if I believe that if people had really wanted to make a game, they wouldn't have done the way we did, where it's just like, okay, we're making it, because you guys asked to make it. So you'd have a little bit more research done and more things collected to be able to probably jump ahead from where we're at now. Further details than the basics of horses, and if you make sure your old kids, he'd Killable Joe. Lab Joe. Thank you very much for the follow. But I got distressed. Health bars. Yeah, we have to talk about that because I have to figure out how to do a menu. Because we need a menu, we need a mini map, all that kind of stuff. And that was not in the tutorial that I had taken for this. Oh, and we're back. Okay. Oh. Distracted because of interactions. Good day, sir. Good day. Thank you for the sub, too. Wow. Thank you very much. That's true. You need to learn overlays. Oh, I've worked on those. So in our game maker, we do layers. And I'm used to those because of Photoshop. So if we look at our game maker side, turn this guy off. We do have multiple layers and stuff in the Game Maker Studio, because I did find a thing on it which talked about you can have multiple layers for tile sets. You can have multiple layers for for assets. So like the name here is on a separate layer. My walls are on a separate layer. All my teleporters are on a separate layer from the background. I have 2 background tile ones so that we can do some overlays on there, so that we can do things like rocks and things like that when we start building the outside stuff. So yeah, I've thought ahead on that and learned a little bit about that. So yeah, we're doing okay. Sure, you need to learn overlays. Means okay. Agree, not many at all. Would you be open to the community picking out some of the world settings in a series of polls on Discord? Well, think about it. What I was thinking about, because we set it up yesterday, because I didn't I didn't think about it. We didn't set it up before, but we do have a general voice chat channel. And what I was thinking about is saying, okay, well, is there a time where we can get a few people in there and start talking through some of the games, some of the game stuff? What are we going to do next? What do we want to add to it? What do we want to do? What is the best way to go? What do we think the next step should be? All that kind of stuff. So I am thinking in those lines. Polls could be really good, but I like open discussions better. So, because what it reminds me of is when we do the what we used to call the piss lines for Blizzard characters. So the stop poking me thing, all that kind of stuff. What we did was we would get a bunch of people in a room, like 5 to 10 people in a room. We turn a microphone on and just start throwing out ideas, and playing off each other until we ended up with some pretty good lines for the characters in game. So when the stop poking me, all that kind of stuff would be a perfect example. Yeah. And doing it in voice or in the voice room, the voice chat room, it would go quicker than all of us sitting there typing. So, but yeah, I will think about that and how we're going to do that. But yeah, so right now, because I'm so off and we're late anyway, we're going to end game dev for now. A little bit early, not a little bit early. We're late on time, but we didn't do a lot today. I'm aware of that. So let's turn this all off. Put the logo back up so I know where to cut it when we go to cut it. And we will go on to our next section. Still a little bit lightheaded, but I will be okay. Get this open to the correct size. Okay, that's it. Let's do any last questions here. One of the ancestors' powers is that Phoenix, I think a good idea would be to put that in an ice environment. You swap with the usual ice, fire trope. Just as people can think about. Interesting.